Hello. These are my second graders today. These are my little sisters. Ireland is actually the oldest of the little sisters over there. And then we have Netherland in the middle. She's the youngest. And she's actually a real life third grader. So she's going to be our closest to our second grade class. And then we have Scotland over here, and she's the middle of the youngest ones. And so they're going to be my second graders today. I'm going to kind of post off to the side over here so I can present and talk to them. And the recording is going to be mostly on them, but you should be able to hear me. I also just want to preface this by saying there are other people that live in this house. So if you hear any noises in the background, I apologize for that. I asked them to be quiet, but we'll see how that goes. So we're going to start off our class today. This is going to be, if you guys remember yesterday, you were working with Miss Lentz. She started talking about occupations, right? Jobs that we see in our daily life. And so we're going to continue our economics unit by going into public service jobs, okay? So we're going to take a look here. Our objective for today is that today I will learn about the public services our government provides to us. Alright, so I need everybody to stand up for this. So really quickly, I'm going to kind of explain what a public service worker is. Netherland, do you have an idea of what a public service job might be?
No.
No? What, can you, guess one?
I don't.
Okay, you don't know. Scotland, do you have an idea?
Wait, what is it?
Public service.
Where it's in the public. And you do
Ireland, do you have an idea?
Where you work in public?
Yeah, so they're all, like you said, you're working in the public, you're working for the public. If you think of jobs that are of service to people.
Like community service?
Kind of. So what job, why would you have to do community service? What kind of job would you be doing?
The military?
So, well, I'll go ahead and let you guys know what a public service worker is. A public service worker is somebody that is usually employed by the government, and they do jobs to serve people around our community. So we're gonna do a little game right now, and you're gonna move to one side of the classroom and tell me whether you think this person is a public service worker or not. Okay? So we're gonna move to the right side of the room if you believe yes. You're gonna go to the right side of the room. Remember to start right hand, right side of the room. If you say yes, this person is a public service worker.
Okay.
Left side of the room, left side of the room. Remember with our left hand we draw the L is gonna be no, this person is not a public service worker. Okay. Alright, so our first job, a policeman.
Public. Yeah.
What side is yes? Remember the right side.
Right.
And why is why is a policeman a public service worker?
Because
Wait, Netherland rose her hand first.
Because they save people in the public. I don't know.
What's up, Scotland?
Because they take their time and they serve us.
Public? They
Yeah,
serve the
well, how do they serve the public, Ireland?
They keep
by arresting people.
By
they
keeping
keep
our
everyone out
community
of
safe.
danger.
To keep us out of danger. Good. What about a baker? Like a cake baker. Doesn't matter which side of the room, you guys gotta think on your own. Think on your own. Alright, so we got the room split up. We have Ireland saying yes, a baker is a public service worker, and Scotland and Netherlands saying no. So Scotland and Netherlands, why do you think a baker is not a public service?
Because they don't do anything.
Let's raise our hands. Scotland.
Because all they do is bake. They don't really do anything for us, community, besides give us food.
Okay. Monkey?
That's the same exact thing I was gonna say.
Sorry, just for reference to Netherland doesn't really go by Netherland. We call her Monkey. So if you hear me saying Monkey, that's in reference to Netherland. So a baker makes food for our community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we pay, or is a baker employed by the government?
No.
No, they don't work for our cities, right?
No.
They're kind of on their own. A lot of times they have their own businesses, kind of like your mom does. Your mom has her own business. That means mom's not a public service worker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Ireland, what were you thinking as to why?
Like if it's a baker, they can give out food and stuff.
They can give out food, and sometimes they can be of service to the community. They could donate food, but they're not employed by the government, so that doesn't technically make them a public service worker. All right, what about a teacher? Yes or no? Netherland, can I take your phone, please? Give me your phone,
I
Monkey.
was just taking off
Give
the
me your
case.
phone, please.
I
Thank
was
you.
just
It's
taking
okay.
off the case.
Okay. Had to take a phone away. So,
Taking off the case.
why do you guys think a teacher is a public service worker? Scotland?
One, because they work for our government, so they are, and two, because they help teach not little kids, but just kids in general that can make us do like good things in the future.
Okay, and what about you, Ireland? You're saying no over here.
Because I know you have to have a license, but sometimes, like, a lot of subs sometimes don't work for the government because they don't have a license. I don't know, I just thought.
Subs do have a certain type of certificate, so I know this is a second grade class. We're kind of getting on a higher level here with Ireland and Scotland, but basically, teachers are employed. They are employed public service workers. They're doing a service to us by providing you an education, and they're usually employed by some kind of union or district. And school districts, it all goes through government funding and things like that. Sometimes you do have teachers that, like a homeschool teacher, maybe your mom or your dad, if they're homeschooling you, they might not technically be a public service worker, even though they are doing services to you. All right, good job. Let's go ahead and sit back down.
Can I phone back?
So, no, you're not getting your phone
Changing
back.
the case.
So, we've kind of figured out that a public service worker, basic thing that they do is they serve the public, right? Where else in our readings or in our life can we think about where we're told to do services for others? Scotland.
An avid for community service.
Okay, good. An avid. Is there a book that we can turn to that talks to us about serving others?
The police book.
Monkey?
The community book?
I heard Ireland say it, but Ireland didn't raise her hand. Ireland?
The Bible.
The Bible. So what, Ireland, tell me something in the Bible that tells us about serving others. What is something that you know?
She hasn't gotten to that page.
Excuse me, Netherlands. Ireland is talking.
Like something in the Bible that like tells that.
Just what about the Bible tells us to serve others?
It tells us to I don't know what page it was, but it told us to like serve workers because it's like I don't remember. It was like it's really hard to explain because I don't remember it.
Just put it in your own words.
But it's like it said like this is as I remember it. It was like
When she reading the Bible.
that God says that like it is nice to help public things because or like help people because it's a nice thing to do.
Good. Yeah. So in the Bible, there's a lot of verses that talk about serving others. And what I wanted to point to really quickly is Mark 10:45. It says, "For even the Son of Man didn't come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." The Son of Man is relating to Jesus. And Jesus' whole purpose here on earth was to serve others, right? He was constantly doing things that were good for people. And as Christians and as believers in Christ, we have to remember that our walk with God is being an example of Christ. And if being an example of Christ means serving others, then it's really good if we're out there serving others, right? And so I think that's where we get the public service workers jobs from. It's making sure that we're out there being good stewards of God and serving others. Very good job, Ireland. All right, so we're gonna, I want each of you to give me one public service worker that you can think of that we haven't talked about, and give me a reason of why you think that they qualify as a public service worker. Scotland.
What was it called? An ambulance.
And who works in an ambulance? They're called EMTs.
EMT.
Why are they of service to our public?
Because first they work for the governor or
Government.
and second because they help our community. Like if you're hurt or you're like giving birth or something, they help you like get better.
Good. Monkey?
They save your
The
lives.
army.
Okay. And what do they do?
They fight for our country.
Yeah. And are they employed by the government?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Good. Ireland?
The president.
Yes. The president is a public servant. I believe. Oh, that's a very good question. I'm not sure if the president is a public service worker. I'm assuming he is because he's like head of the government. But
He can't work for the government.
yeah, there's only how many presidents do we have in our
2.
country? One. We only have one president.
Well, there's the vice president too.
Mhm.
He only runs the United States, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm maybe go to
That's why if you
Mexico.
watch the news, on the news, there's like Queen Elizabeth of this place. And
All right. So here's the next activity that we're going to be working on. We've talked about some public service workers. For our economics unit, we will be working on creating a project about our public service workers. And at the end of this unit, we'll be presenting them. So each of you are going to pick a public service worker, and you're going to write their job on the index card. And that's going to be a public service worker that you want to work on. So I'm a teacher, right? And if you wanted to talk about, or if you wanted to do your presentation on being a teacher, you'd write a teacher down. Or we talked about policemen, EMTs. We have other people like park rangers, right? People that are taking care of our parks, people that work for a city. Anything like that you can think of, go ahead and write that job title down for me.
Can I get purple?
No.
Does not matter what color we get, right? You're gonna write that down for me.
Rachel.
Wait,
I can't. I don't know.
Alright, so what are we thinking of?
I don't know.
What are you... Scott, what are you thinking of? I don't know what you got going.
the president.
Okay.
How do you spell president? Is it P-R-E-I?
Spell it out as best as you can. And then I'll take a look at it. What are you doing, Monkey? Let's try to each do something different. So, Monkey, if you're looking at president, try not to do that. What are you thinking of? EMT. Alright.
Exclamation mark.
Police? Okay. Let's look at how we're spelling police really quick. P-O. L. Alright, so I'm just gonna check these. We got EMT, President of the United States, and police. Alright, so if this was my bigger class, I'd go around and look at them, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys keep these. We're gonna put these in our binders because this is what we're gonna be working on throughout the week, okay? Just go ahead and put those in your binders. Let me collect your papers really quickly.
Binders.
You're gonna pretend like you have a binder,
I
okay?
have a binder. I have a binder.
Just put it behind you. Alright. So, have you guys ever heard of what a public service announcement is?
Yes.
Yes.
What do you
I
think
know
it
what
is?
I
Scotland?
think it's when like our president makes a announcement to the public about like our service and our like community.
Okay, Ireland.
I don't know.
Wait, say it again.
What is a public service announcement?
It's where like there's something going on and they want us to do something and they're gonna make an announcement about it. Or
Okay.
it's like help our community or something like that. But
Netherlands, do you have an idea?
No.
Let's guess. Let's take a guess.
What did you say?
Take a guess of what a public service worker is.
A public service worker. They work for public.
Or a public service announcement, sorry. Public service announcement.
Where the public, like our service communities, announces something.
Yes. So you guys kind of get the gist of it. A public service announcement is made by somebody that usually is a public service worker. So like Scotland said, the president makes an announcement, or even if we think about, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some public service announcements, but basically they're making an announcement to the community because they want to make you feel a certain way about what they're saying. Right? Yes, Scotland.
So would that be like for like COVID-19, their public service announcement would be like wear a mask?
Yes.
or stay home.
Yes, somewhat. It's usually in some kind of ad formation, like a video, a picture, a poster, to where you see it everywhere and it's posted. Although, yes, that is a public service announcement. It's usually posted to where it makes you want to feel a certain way about it. It's not necessarily saying, like, you're required to. Like, for us, we're required to wear our masks. However, some states aren't. So it just kind of depends. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the different types of public service announcements that we have. So this is from a library, and it says, "What's cooler than being cool? Having a library card. Get yours today." So this public service announcement is saying, hey, you should have a library card because it makes you cool, right? So they're trying to sway your opinion about having a library card. And who's that right there?
Snoopy.
Snoopy, all right. This one's a really good one. Monkey, can you read what it says?
Stop bullying. It's a dead end. Don't just yell. Report it.
Yeah, stop bullying. It's a dead end. Don't just yield, report it. So they're saying that bullying is bad, right? That's what this is telling you. And it's referring to road signs because that's something that we can reference in our daily life. And maybe somebody of like, this could be like a teacher maybe making this, or even somebody else in the community. What does this one say? This one says, drink water. No added flavors, no added sugars. It's just water, and that's what kids need. So this is saying kids should really be drinking water. It's good for them, and we don't want to add anything to it because all we really need is water. So what we're going to work on now is we've picked out our people. Scotland said EMT, Monkey said policeman, Ireland said the president. You are going to make a public service announcement of what your person might want to say to the community. So like how we had a librarian, they said, hey, you should get a library card. You're going to make, a public service announcement about what your worker might say, okay? Now here's your options. You can either draw. We have some different kind of colors, coloring pencils, crayons, markers, all of that. And we have some poster paper, or you can write it out. So you can write down your public service announcement, or if you want to, you can act it out. So if you're going to act it out, you're going to need to step away a little bit from the class, think about what you're going to act, maybe write some notes down about it, because when we go to our presentation, you're either going to present your poster, you're going to present your writing piece, or you're going to present your acting it out. Okay, does anybody have any questions on that? No? Alright, so we got markers in this one. Color, or still markers in that one. We got some markers over here. Crayons. And here's our poster paper. Alright. So go ahead and start working on it. Pick out your poster paper.
Stepping away from the class.
What? Are you going to act it out?
Yes.
Okay, so good. That's good. Scotland's going to step over here, and she's going to work on acting it out. And Ireland and Netherlands are going to work on, what are you guys doing?
A poster.
She's doing a poster. What are you doing, Ireland?
I'm posing.
A poster. Cool. So we're going to work on that for a few minutes, and I'm going to just walk around the room and see how each student is doing. All right, Ireland, so what do you think your...
Be
Pres-
smart,
what?
don't fart, and stay in school.
You really think a president would say
No.
that? No. So what would a president tell the community?
Be smart and stay in school.
Be smart and stay in school. Okay, I like that. And is there any pictures that you can put to go with it? No.
No, we messed up.
I'm gonna try to draw something. That's the whole point of like an ad, right? Is to add some stuff to it. What are you gonna write on with Monkey?
Don't do drugs.
Okay. And why would a policeman say that?
Because so then you wouldn't get arrested and it's bad for you.
Good. So when we go to present, I want you to be thinking about that, okay? Because we're going to ask you, why would the policeman say that? So if you need to, go ahead and write on the back why a policeman would say that. No, that's okay. It's just for you to remember. It's going to help you remember, okay? All right, and we're going to turn it over to Scotland to see how she's working. So what do you got going so far?
Good.
What are you going to act out?
My play.
What is that?
Do I do it right now?
You can give us a little example.
Okay. No, don't. No. I declare in the city of Hemet, California, that everyone must wear masks until we get this all figured out.
All right, so Scotland's is a work in progress right now. Scotland, I want you to think about something that an EMT might say that sways your opinion. So that would be an EMT telling us we have to wear masks, but maybe they could suggest that we wear masks. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so let's keep on working on that. All right. So we're just going to wrap up class. Obviously, I'd give them more time to continue working on this and they could take it home. But we're going to go back to our seats really quickly, please. And we're each going to raise our hand and tell me what is your favorite public service worker and why. This is going to be our closure activity before we could leave for class. Ireland had her hand up first.
Wait, so say again.
Your favorite public service worker and why.
The president, because he tells us everything that's happening in the world and what we should do about it.
Okay, in case it's informed, right?
Yeah.
Scotland, I saw your hand next.
I would say
Okay,
EMT
stop.
because they like say you're like in need of help, they can help you, and they'll get there quick.
Good. Monkey,
Policemen,
and why is that your favorite public service worker?
because they help people stay safe and stay away from drugs.
Good. So, before we finish up, you have a homework assignment that's going to be due for your next class, and it's going to be incorporating some writing. So, you are going to rank from best to worst the top 5 public service workers. So, we've already named some, right? We have EMT, policemen, we have firemen, we have public park rangers, we have city employees. We have so many options, and you could really ask your parents to help you out on this to see what are some different public service workers. And you're going to rank them from best being number 1 and 5 being the worst. Not necessarily the worst, but your least favorite or your least best out of the 5. And I want you to just give me one sentence, kind of like we did right now, as why you rank them that. So, Scotland, all of you guys have already said probably your number 1. So you can write that as your number 1 and write the sentence of why you think that. And then just write 4 more and give one sentence as to why you believe that, okay? And that's going to be due tomorrow. Does anybody have any questions about anything we've learned today or any of our assignments?
No.
Remember, we're working on this project throughout the week, so you can take your posters home and you can make them look a little bit nicer. Or not nicer, excuse me, you can continue to work on them. Scotland, you can continue to work on your acting it out piece. And we're going to continue to add on parts of our project throughout the week, okay?
Alright.
All right. Thanks, guys.